When Nacrus was about to drown, the relentless Sonic, although he couldn't swim, still dragged a stone to perform a rescue. This was also their first cooperation. They quickly moved the pillar. After Nacrus was saved, he swam toward the sea without looking back, leaving behind a struggling Sonic underwater. Just as Sonic's consciousness was about to fade, a big hand grabbed him and rescued him to the beach. This event gradually transformed their status from arch-enemies to friends. During their conversation, Sonic discovered that Nacrus wasn't inherently bad. In fact, he was influenced by his tribe and had a certain desire for great power. After a thorough chat, they put aside their past grievances and decided to team up to defeat Dr. Dan. Meanwhile, Dr. Dan was surrounded by the police, but he was unfazed.
Thrown thoughtlessly.
After the public announcement, a gigantic mecha appeared. Dr. Dan easily controlled it and began his maneuvers unnoticed. At that moment, Sonic and the others rushed over. Nacrus tilted back and descended, charging straight at the mecha from the front. Dr. Dan operated the mecha, intending to crush it with his fingers. Although Nacrus was skilled compared to the massive mecha, he was merely a drop in the bucket. In the air, Tars robustly piloted a fighter jet, frantically firing. His body was caught by the mecha's appendages, but fortunately he deployed his parachute and escaped disaster. Finally, Sonic fired a missile at the mecha's thigh, but unfortunately it couldn't cause substantial damage. The three then discussed strategies and divided tasks. Sonic was responsible for distracting Dr. Dan, while Nacrus and Tars looked for weaknesses in the mecha. Unfortunately, Dr. Dan used a laser pointer to shoot down Sonic near the bridge, making the situation dire. Charles created a hole in the mecha and activated his duplication skill to start interfering, but Dr. Dan's flashy skills couldn't escape his scrutiny. Within 3 seconds, Sonic was hit by Dr. Dan, demoralizing their efforts. I mustn't scold you. After all, I am only a plan.
Taking this opportunity, Nacrus forcefully punched and extracted the emerald energy from Dr. Dan's body. Dr. Dan fell, and the mecha followed suit. The gem happened to fall right in front of Sonic, who was already severely injured and struggled to walk towards the emerald. At that moment, Dr. Dan activated the backup power source and the mecha stood up again. He tried to stomp Sonic, but at the crucial moment, Xiao Shuai and his girlfriend felt successful in saving him, only to be knocked down by a punch. With no way to escape, Sonic attempted to use the emerald's power against Dr. Dan, but the emerald shattered immediately.
As a result, Dr. Dan spewed flames, enveloping them all. Just as the family was preparing to await death, the 7 gems beneath them suddenly began to move, instantly forming a light ring that entered Sonic's body. A dazzling golden light flashed, and Sonic transformed into his Super Saiyan form, instantly piercing through the mecha's feet and soaring into the air. Using his upgraded supersonic abilities, he quickly tore open the mecha's skull. Unwilling to give up, the new Dr. Dan attempted a final assault by targeting Sonic's arm power source, but Sonic effortlessly intercepted it. Subsequently, Sonic became a beam of light, following up with a complete series of titanium stone maneuvers. Just like that, Dr. Dan was taken down and left to face his fate. The Arctic was finally liberated. Xiao Shuai and his girlfriend were eager to approach and show concern, but were blocked by Nacrus, because the legendary 7 gems can erode the host's sanity. Unexpectedly, Sonic waved his hand to the sky, and dark clouds with lightning instantly gathered overhead.
All right.
You're already crying. That is so amazing.
All right, here is precisely the song you requested, presented clearly in full detail.
I know you. Then Sonic released the 7 colored gems and reverted to his original form. After this incident, the 3 decided to jointly guard the emerald energy. The alliance also came to an end here.